Hi, I'm going to show you how to integrate Kasm Workspaces with F5 BIG-IP Access Policy Manager. And this is based loosely off of this article here that gives you instructions on different ways to configure this. But this particular article focuses on using fast templates. And what I'm going to show you is how to configure this essentially manually with a virtual server. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is create an HTTP monitor. I'll give it a name. How about that? And we'll select the type as HTTP. As HTTP. There you go. Now I already have the information captured for how to do a successful health check with Kasm. And this is the HTTP request for the health check, and expected response is okay. And this is a reverse. So that can just go, we'll go ahead and click finished. And now we'll create a pool. And we'll call this Kasm Pool. And you can see the health monitor I just created there. And what we need to do is create the member server, 10.1.20.23. That is the IP address of my Kasm server. You can double check that right there. Okay, and then we want to click add. Everything looks good there, so we'll go ahead and finish. Okay, there we go. We'll go over to the virtual server here and create. And we'll call this Kasm Virtual Server, standard type, destination. I'm going to use this IP here as the listener on the BIG-IP and set this to 443. All right, that's set. I do need to do one more thing. Since I'm translating between two addresses, I need to make sure to put source address translation to automap, and that should do it. Okay, and now one more thing. When I come in here, go to resources and set the default pool to that one we created previously. And there we go. And if you notice, we got a nice green there because the health monitor is successful. Let's take a look at the Kasm Workspaces for a moment. Here is the dashboard. Couple things to check. Under infrastructure, you have to make sure that you have a zone configured. This is one with default settings. And then under workspaces, I have a workspace configured with these 4 applications. So basically, when a user logs in to the Kasm Workspace, they're going to see a screen that looks like this, and they can launch any of these apps. But we'll stay back here on the admin screen, and let's go ahead and test this. So what I'm going to do is connect to it through the BIG-IP. Okay, so you notice that I'm logged in here as user 2. Let's go ahead and log into the workspace. And you can see it looks just like I said. Let's go ahead and launch Firefox. And we'll launch it in a new tab. And there it is. try it out here. So I've connected through the BIG-IP to the Kasm server, and this inner browser here it's going to f5.com, that is actually running on the Kasm server itself. All right, there's one other thing I'd like to show you. I'm going to enable SSL decryption on the BIG-IP. This would give you full control over authentication and policy and things of that nature. So we want to make sure that we set the protocol profile, HTTP profile to HTTP. And then the server side will use that as well. And all we need to do is come here and add these two to the virtual server as the SSL profile client and SSL profile server. This is all that's needed to be done. And then if I go ahead and update that there, I could come back here. Okay, and you can see I'm back. Thank you for taking the time to view this demo.